All right. I think we're ready. If you want to start us off, Juliana.
Okay, welcome. So glad that you're here. This is all about the future being here now, and we have this with the AOScan technology. What we're going to explore today is like a quantum wellness center that fits in the palm of your hand. It can actually be used from almost any device that you already have. Um, but this is phenomenal. I think you're really going to love seeing what all this can do. And Julie, you've got control over the slides, so
That's right. Okay, sorry. One sec. It was just
Wait, thank you guys for being here. This is the first time we're doing the presentation this way. So we're just so grateful for your presence, whether you're watching this later or here now. You are a pioneer for even watching this because frequency medicine used in this way is still so innovative. And we really believe this is going to lead the way for healthcare in the future. So here you have how this even started. This was December 2020. The girl on the right, Hannah, she had a cyst in her breast for 10 years, and she heard about this AO scan. She used it just to imprint her ring for cystitis and broadcasting some frequencies to her body. 3 days later, she had no cyst in her breast. So that was the first, like, whoa, wait, what is this? Then she shares it with the blonde here, Steph, and Steph started seeing breakthrough with her kids' sleep patterns, which was giving her and her family a lot of peace with the kids sleeping better. Then she shared it with me. At the time, I had crippling vertigo, and I honestly didn't want to hear about this because I love time in nature more than being on screens. So I honestly didn't want another screen in my life. And I eventually said yes and started using it to help with my vertigo. After 5 days of broadcasting these frequencies to my body, it seemed like, I call it offensively simple. I was just tapping a button, creating frequency energy to help my body. I had no vertigo after that time. Massive. Start giving me back my business because I was having to cancel on clients. There were a lot of things. And that's where I started helping others. And I shared it with Julie Tibbles. So you guys are going to share your stories.
sure. So, as Juliana said, I found the AOScan from Juliana. She had posted something. We're both emotion code practitioners, so we had been on a same Facebook group. I saw her post about this technology, and I've been using frequency technology for about 12 years now. So right away when I saw it, I knew technology advances so quickly, and so when I saw it, I was like, oh, I need to learn more about that. Juliana was like so quick to respond. She did a demo scan for me, and I saw how detailed the AO scan was, so much more than all the technologies that I have already used, and so much faster. So I jumped on right away, started using it with my clients. And of course, I do that transition slowly because I have to gain my trust in this new modality. And of course, it proved to be everything that it said it was. And all my clients were having amazing results. And so, so then I shared it with my friend Jessy, who's also a practitioner.
Yes, but it was a fluke. If you had told me that you were going to show me some sign of a scan or something, I would have ignored you completely because I've always had this vision of me, the world blacked out, and me doing my body talk sessions and my energy healing in the middle of the road, helping the world recover from whatever catastrophe. I don't know where that thought came from, but that's how I've always seen it. But my son got very, very sick while he was in college, and he didn't tell me. And he was in law enforcement, so he was not allowed to get off the campus. That was the beginning of February. By the middle of April, he called me in a panic. He thought he would fail all of his exams. They had been doing COVID tests on him every single day, and they kept giving him the option to drop out of the program and sign up again in 3 years. And he didn't want to do that. So he called me and he said, Mom, can you do Reiki on me so I can go to sleep? Mom, can you do body talk on me to clear out whatever this cough is that I have? And I started working on him, and I kept getting that there's something inorganic in his lungs, and I could not identify what it was. So I started reaching out to practitioners who do what it's called BIE, which is resonance work using vials to find out if it's a mold, a toxin, something that I couldn't see, because I've got vials too, but I have like, I think 500, maybe 750, and Julie has like 5,000 or 10,000 that she's collected over the last 10 years. So I called her up and she said, yeah, I can do a scan for him, no problem. And he was in Montreal. She was here in Ontario. And then I called him the next morning to ask him how he was feeling, because I wanted to know how many more sessions I needed to buy from Julie. And his response was, oh, Mom, whatever you did, it worked. I'm fine. The cough broke up in the middle of the night. My head is clear. I'm going to ace my exams, no problem. And my jaw dropped. And I called Julie and I said, do you mind showing me what you found yesterday when you were working on it? I figured she'd write me up some handwritten thing. And she sent me within seconds this beautiful report of red dots, green dots, columns. And I called her back and I said, hey, whatever CRM you're using, which is a client, what do you call it, retention system, I want to know what that is, because if I could write that up for Body Talk for my clients, it looks so professional. And she laughs at me. She says, Jessy, it's not a CRM. It's a scanner. And I went, oh. And then she offered to do a voice scan for me. And I wasn't interested. I know all about scalar energy. I know all about Tesla and all these different things. I've been studying it for 15, 20 years. And I said, but you know what? So this was a test. My mother has stage 7 Alzheimer's. She has a headache every day. Can you do something for her headache? And she goes, for sure. I'll run a scan on her. Mom was asleep. Normally, Mom wakes up creaking and groaning and making these funny sounds as she gets her old little body off of her bed. This time, literally, she popped up from her nap. Her eyes were open this big, and she says, you did it. You took the helmet off my head, finally. How come I couldn't articulate my words to make you understand what was going on? And literally, my daughter and I, we stood there, our jaws hit the floor. I called Julie back, and I said, how much do I have to mortgage my house for? I figured it was a big machine. That's what it's always been for the last 20 years. And she laughed again. She's always laughing at me. She says, Jessy, you don't have to mortgage your house. It's a subscription and it's on your phone. I was sold. I didn't investigate any further. I bought right into it in that moment. And like Julie, I started testing it on everybody, every client that came in. I had to test it and see if it worked. And we've been using it every day. And within a week, my daughter and I found our energy levels were through the roof. And I'm an Energizer bunny anyways. But I tell you, we were painting walls, we were washing carpets, we were washing floors, we were rearranging furniture. It was astounding. And I have never looked back. I am so excited about this technology. My mission has always been to make everybody feel healthy. Well, this is the way we do it. Who's next? Who else gets to talk?
Love it. I love it.
Awesome story.
So awesome.
Jessy, since you're on a roll, do you want to talk a little more about frequencies?
Absolutely. Nikola Tesla. Oh my gosh. He was born, let me think. I don't remember when he was born, but in 1891 or somewhere around then, he invented some coils for our hydro and electricity that actually, when the generator was put in schools, between the walls of the schools, the children got healthier and the children got smarter. They actually put him under house arrest and confiscated all of his information to the government, because that's not how they wanted to have a system. He wanted a system that was free for everybody, and whoever was in charge of the government at that time wanted to charge for it. So his coil technology and frequency technology is part of what's in the scan. The other gentleman who most of us may have heard of is Royal Rife. If we can go to the next slide there. Okay, let's go to Einstein then. Fine.
Go back.
There he is. There's Rife. But Einstein said the future of medicine is the medicine of frequencies. And this man was one of the men who said, I got into science to answer questions and find the truth. And in science, I found God. He knew that there was so much more. And I remember a story about him standing at the top of a mountain, trying to prove to everybody else that there was molecules in the ether. He couldn't even prove there was a wind that day. And everybody laughed at him because they did not understand the depth of his comprehension of things. So this is the future is here now, because we're using this and bringing all of these technologies together. Royal Rife, interesting name, Royal, was also incarcerated and put into jail because he had patients who claimed that they were cancer-free using his beam ray technology. what he was doing was using oscillating beam frequencies. And he also invented microscopes where you could look at the bacteria, the virus, and things live instead of just being dead on a slide. So again, these three men were so far ahead of their time, and all of their information was confiscated. But the FBI released that, I guess, in 2018. Many of you have heard about Dr. Masaru Emoto, and I was lucky enough to see him at U of T at Boise in 1996. He came on a tour here, and he discovered that human consciousness can actually affect the molecular structures of all of the molecules in water. Now, we are more than 75% water. So when we beam hatred or worry or doubt at somebody, we're actually lowering each other's immune systems. It's kind of shocking. I like to say that worry is worse than the evil eye because it affects us and it affects someone else. He found that when he photographed water molecules, if we prayed over it or played pleasant music over it or said, I love you, it had those beautiful crystalline structures. There in the picture here, you can see the song from John Lennon, Imagine. But if we take that and then start screaming hate at it, or you're stupid, or any negative thoughts like that, we actually break the molecular structure into what looks like polluted water. Look at the middle one at the bottom. That was just saying, I will kill you. That hatred just totally destroyed the crystalline structure of the water molecule. And it's like, oh my gosh, if we could get more people realizing that it is our thoughts that are making us sick. Now I got to figure out how come I got a cough if it's our thoughts making us sick. But anyways, I was doing something on the weekend. We have been living in a society that takes our symptoms and takes them one by one and says, oh, there's something wrong with you. We need to fix this. And we don't. Our symptoms are not the issue. They're just part of the manifestation of what's going on to show that there's an imbalance.
Mm-hmm. And like you were saying with the water as well. So our bodies are, what is it? 90% water, 70 to 90% water. I can't remember the percentage, but right. So if our words have that impact on water and our bodies are predominantly made of water, then those frequencies, those thoughts that we're having are affecting our body. So that just goes to show you that a lot of the time our emotions and our thoughts are part of the root cause. So when I first started testing people doing BIE, like Jessy was talking about with the little vials, each of those little vials has a frequency. So each one, if I'm testing trees, grass, weeds, or foods or hormones, they all have a frequency. And so if our bodies aren't understanding a frequency, it's called a stressor. So each of those vials are called a stressor, because oftentimes the root cause of whatever is going on in our body is from a stress. So it's important to find out what that root stress is and to address it. And the AOScan is amazing for that, because oftentimes we're not thinking of what that root stressor is. Or it can be missed. So there's been times where I've been so grateful for the AOScan because I've discovered things that I think as just with my practitioner mind, I may have missed if I had not had this tool. So it's an amazing educational tool that identifies those specific frequencies in the human body. Just like I was saying, everything has a frequency. So it'll tell us what the body is resonating with and what it is dissonant or not recognizing. It's got more than 120,000 frequencies. And the original version was launched in 2008, and that's a large system. It was a $38,000 biofeedback system. So most people, when they Google AOScan, they'll find that. But now they have a mobile version that was just launched in January 2021. And it's phenomenal. It has 95% of everything that larger device had. It's just incredible. You'll see it goes into so much detail. So here we were just talking about everything has its own energy, just like I was mentioning. But when these vibrations or these oscillations are disrupted, which can be by injury, it can be by eating poorly, it can be by stress or poor sleep, everything's affecting us. And when there's a disruption, then there's a problem. So then when those disruptions are not addressed, It can bring about fatigue or depression or illness, disease, allergies, like anything like that is your body's inability to understand certain frequencies. So over the past 20 years, these vibrational frequencies have been isolated, identified, and cataloged into in different forms. So in computerized systems or in the vials like I have. So we have different ways to access very specific frequencies. So this particular scan, my favorite scan, is called the vital scan. So it scans the energetic state of your blood biology. So that's over 600 items. It can identify energetic imbalances in areas such as toxins, hormones, microminerals, macrominerals, allergies, sensitivities, heavy metals, fungus, mold, your adrenals, just everything, so much more. So what it does is it tests you to see what imbalances there are, and then it sends you frequencies to bring balance to the body and helps the body create homeostasis. And when the body understands frequencies and it's no longer resisting those frequencies, then the body returns to homeostasis and the body then can heal itself. This is an example of the vital scan report. So the column here that's gray is the scan that we initially did to find out what the imbalances are. So in the macro minerals, you can see magnesium was out of balance, meaning the body wasn't recognizing that frequency. And that could mean that maybe there's not enough of it in the body because it's not absorbing it or not recognizing it. So what we want to do is we balance it or optimize the frequencies. So this column here is after we do the optimization, and then you can see that everything is in the green. So that magnesium that the body wasn't recognizing after we optimized and balanced it, now the body recognizes it. And that means the body can use the magnesium better. Then we have the comprehensive scan. So this would be similar to an MRI or a CT scan, and it provides a comprehensive look at how the imbalances in the inner voice, which Juliana is going to talk about in a minute, and the vital scan, which I just showed you, might be affecting your anatomy. So it will scan your tissues, muscles, bones. You can look for, if somebody's got injuries or a frozen shoulder that maybe is not healing. Well, we can look at why. Why is that not healing? What's going on there? And it includes multiple options for custom scanning and optimizing areas of interest. So if somebody, say, has a frozen shoulder and they've been working on improving this by going to physiotherapy or acupuncture, but it's just not getting better, this will take you even deeper to find out why is it not getting better. And it will introduce the frequency of healthy muscle or healthy tissue, so that the body can start to recognize that and try to achieve that. So it is phenomenal for working on the physical body. This is what a comprehensive report looks like. You can look at it in a table view, just like we were looking at with the vital scan report, or you can look at it in this visual view where it shows the actual organ that it's testing. And again, on this one, the column on the right is before balancing and the column on the left is after balancing. So when we're looking at this, we would want to look for things that were red and then didn't quite balance. They're still red. So maybe that area needs a little more work. Maybe they need some more frequency work. So we can do that with something called the Cephis, which Juliana is going to talk about in a minute as well. So now it's time for Juliana to talk about the inner voice scan, which is another one of my favorites. Did we lose Juliana?
There we go. Sorry, I muted myself. Started talking to myself. I love inner voice, and you could almost imagine. So imagine we were just in a room that was all about vitals, and then we went into a room that's all about competency. So imagine if like you did scanning optimization. So that's the two focuses of those two: scan and optimize right after. Whereas inner voice is focused on a whole different aspect of your being. So we're going into a different room in this center. Inner voice is based off of your voice. We can hear in people's voices the degree of confidence or insecurity as maybe they stumble over their words. We can hear all of this in one another's voices, and we do have these subtle understanding of where a person's at. Well, we now can measure all those frequencies in the voice. In fact, we need to update this slide because it analyzes 10,000 frequencies across a 12-note octave in your vocal tone, pitch, and pattern. And then it identifies the top 4 emotional imbalances, 3 that are overexpressed within the voice, and 1 that's underexpressed or subconscious issue going on. Then it generates these 4 customizing. It's actually now the technology keeps advancing, guys. You need to know that our amazing leaders are like always adding more without adding cost. So it used to be 4 different songs that you would listen to. Now it's 1 song that brings in those 4 overexpressed sounds within your voice. So it's going to help balance the sounds within your body, but it also has frequencies in there that you need to hear. And this can reach the brain and body in ways that we can't in other ways. Just like we've all had powerful moments with music where it just moves your heart or even brings you to tears. And sometimes this music can have that effect because it's helping to release old trapped emotions or stuck energy. And this is phenomenal for every age. Maybe you have a grandmother with dementia or a cousin with autism. It is fabulous for anyone at any age because it's just sound therapy that's uniquely catered and created for them. This is an example of the inner voice report. You can see it, and this was actually one of my early reports and this would show up all the time, the low self-esteem versus self-accepting. You think it's picking up on those early years of rejection in elementary school? Yes. Are those still like old residual things that have needed more support? Yes. So as I listened to the music more and more, it would have, this no longer shows up like that gold color as the color I need is not showing up as much because it's been bringing more balance to my body. And you can see these things. There's those emotions, rejection, unworthiness, self-confidence. All of this is in the report, and that color, like I mentioned, gold, this is also incorporating color therapy. If you've ever done this, share it in the chat because there are practitioners just for color therapy, but this does it within seconds. You find out the 4 colors you most need that day. And that's where you can also incorporate some color therapy and wear those colored lenses to further support your emotional balance. And you even see in the corner of that report, imbalances and suggestions. So you want to look for themes there and then take some action to support yourself better. If it keeps showing up. Here is an example of, actually this is when our whole easy scan is done. This is 3 reports in 1, and this is going over the details, just some of those details. And it's funny how it's improved even since this video. It's just awesome. So you can even find out more details about each item within the report. If you're like, I don't know about energy production function, all the details are there, but this is a summary of the reds, the things that were most out of balance in the body. This is a comprehensive report, and you can see this amazing 3D map of the body. So we can explore even further to better understand where this is affecting my body and then take further action to support your health if it shows up consistently. Because we're not diagnosing from just one scan, we want to see what's consistent over different scans. So we're going into another room in the Wellness Center. This is Cephi, Subtle Energy Frequency Imprinter. I love this part. Honestly, any one of these rooms, if they were a device, if they were technology all to themselves, they would still be worth like twice the cost of what this is monthly. But this one's like a library I believe over 1,000 frequency programs. They keep adding more that are from Dr. Royal Rife's frequencies from his research. They are subtle energy, they are scalar waves, but each different frequency program, like you see me scrolling through there, those are all programs directed at those imbalances. So they're like proprietary frequency, recipes to work to help bring more balance to those specific areas. So with this, you can imprint frequencies to an object, like a glass of water. You need some more energy for the day. That's one of the frequency programs. And you need to stop coffee, or you're trying to get away from caffeine. Let's start putting energy on your water and seeing what those effects can be for you. Or there's just so many ways. You can also broadcast these frequencies from any distance. I found this offensively simple because this is where we get into quantum entanglement and how the quantum field works, which is almost unbelievable if you're not used to it. Now, I know a lot of you've been doing this type of work already, but now we can also broadcast it. How we do this is we've got someone, you see at the top of my device there, we have a profile and it's focused on them uniquely within the quantum field. That's how the energy is focused on sending it to them and supporting them with those frequencies. Yeah, there's so much there, but we've got even more to cover.
This is my favorite section, and it absolutely blew my mind. We have what's called a supplement library. You have the opportunity of taking, and I have to hold mine to look at it. You have the opportunity to put in any of the medications or any of the vitamins and supplements and things that you regularly take in the morning, in the afternoon, midday, or in the evening, or general. And I thought that was mind-blowing. And then I watched one of the instruction videos, and Lauren was saying he has this whole homeopathic library of I don't even know how many thousands of different remedies. And the scanner will scan this for you. So this is what I do every morning now. In the Easy Scan, I will just imprint all of these different homeopathics in me or in my cat or in my daughter or in my son. And we've been doing it especially with my cat because we brought home a kitten, and the cat doesn't like the kitten, although the kitten likes the cat. But it is so phenomenal for people who normally I will tell people to muscle test which vitamins you should take, because we don't need a vitamin every single day. If we're out of balance with something, we should go until we're in balance. And then why would we take more and throw us out of balance again? So with this, it will tell you what it is, which frequency you are missing in your body at that time, and tell you which supplement you should take. Because sometimes we do have to take a supplement in its natural form to support the body that way. But it's phenomenal. It tells us what resonates with us at that time to give us the health. And I talked briefly about scanning your pet. We can do the vital scan for our pets, and we can do Cephis for our pets as well. So this little kitten that we brought home, we thought it probably has worms. So we did the deworming programs that are in there. When I did take her to the vet last week, he said, oh, it doesn't seem to have worms, but we'll give her some medication anyway, just in case. And so far, her poops and everything have been clear. And we cleared out the dust mites and things. And I have another story to tell you. This has not to do with pets, but we were being inundated by squirrels in my backyard. They were tearing through my screens. This happens every year. I don't know what they want in my house. I have 2 cats. Why would the squirrels come in here? This year with the homeopathics, or homeoenergetics, there is a vermin control something or other. We ran that once. We haven't seen a single squirrel in our property in like almost a month now. So I am absolutely floored. This can help us in so many different ways. So somehow my property was out of balance and now it's in balance. So for me, I've never had a tool that can work so easily, so quickly. Julie and I tease, we say that it makes our previous energy healing work more like caveman talk, because it is so slow in comparison. I will do 20 sessions for someone to bring them up into balance. And in 1 or 2 or 3 sessions, we have covered 200,000 different frequencies that can help the body heal. Where else can we get this kind of insight to learn our own bodies, to trust ourselves, and to have detailed reports if that's what our mind needs? How many medical expenses can we avoid if we can identify the root cause of our own issue at home? Like, can you imagine if every mother had this, if this was in every single household and she could take care of her kids' fevers and her kids' colds and everything else? It would be, the medical system wouldn't be so bombarded. They could start relaxing a little bit themselves. So what is it that we can actually prevent if we can optimize ourselves every single day? How much energy would we have? How could we change the world? I am thrilled that Julie introduced me to this, because it has changed my life in 4 months.
Mhm. So you may have been wondering, so what's the bottom line? How much is this? This is how much it costs monthly. It is a subscription, and it is essentially focused on raising your vibration. And so raising your vibration, you're raising your body's ability to heal itself. So it is $149 USD per month, and you can turn that subscription on or off as you need. You're not locked into any kind of contract. As a quantum living advocate, if you're like me, when I get excited about something, I'm going to share it with somebody else. And just like any referrals these days, we want to, it's wonderful to get compensated for as you share it. You can get different commissions, and there's multiple structures to that. There's multiple ways to get paid. For me, I was not looking to replace my business and my income because I loved what I did, but I also was in a pain point, and I did want to help more people and not be forever doing one-on-one sessions. So that's where my vision is. Someone in business with this shifted, because I can put this in one person's hand and they can help their whole family, and then that can branch out from there. It can help a lot of people. So that is $149 because that's the subscription, and then it's $49 enrollment, and that's just paid once a year, and you've got a business. So beyond that, I truly believe everybody should have it for free. And when you help 3 people get started with this, you share it with 3 people, that's going to cover your monthly costs, and you'll actually start to make some money. So like I mentioned, you can earn these commissions, and then it turns into $176 per month. And there are bonuses initially as well. That $710 and one-time bonuses is if you're helping them. If you don't mind going back for just a second.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. If you help them by help them get started with more than just the device. We have a whole quantum resource opportunities, things like this is a red light that fits on your wrist, and I'm just getting it to turn on. And this is, if you love red light therapy, this is amazing. You put it on your wrist. This is your mobile red light that you saw. Jessy was wearing it earlier. It's so convenient. Or you can put it, I've been using it to help get rid of a bruise on my arm. It will speed up that healing process. It includes, it helps the blood get to those surfaces and helps, again, supporting your body and healing. And then we also mentioned like the colored glasses. See, these are the things, and there's more. I could tell you all about them. I'm wearing some, like this is high frequency jewelry that it has Cybin in it from northern China, and it holds a frequency for up to a month. And then it can be handing you frequencies by just wearing it. Very convenient. We do lots of things, but number one is the AOScan technology. So you can just ask yourself, who would you share it with? And beyond that, we want you to feel very supported and aligned. We lead with our values. I hope you can even feel that, because you need to be aligned and this has to be serving you. And we want to make sure that you're getting trained. We have an awesome video training series with basic training. Then the company Solex does weekly calls. Everyone is informative. I never miss them. And we have monthly team calls, Facebook groups, and you're on our monthly presentation. So there's a lot of support. So nothing beats experience. Show me the experience, right? If you have not experienced the AOScan for yourself, we want you to have that experience. Reach out to whoever you heard about this from, and they'll be able to assist you with that. Connect with them. They're going to give you that introductory scan. But we do have to add a disclaimer, because we are not looking to be the end-all be-all for your medical health. No representation contained in these materials is intended as medical advice and should not be used for diagnosis or medical treatment. The AOScan Mobile is not a medical device. It does not diagnose, treat, or cure any disease. So this opens us up for some Q&A, and we can switch to just the room, the dialogue room, if you want, Julie. Because I know there's some good questions that have come in, and Jessy or Julie, like if you want to go ahead, you may have already seen some of those questions. And if you have some questions, be sure to add it to the chat, or you can unmute yourself. For a lot of people, this is new.
Okay. Patricia had a good question. And she's not on the call anymore. She had some clients to go see, but she wanted to know if we can use this for cancer. And my response is always that we start putting the body into balance with the amino acids, the white blood cells, the nutrient deficiencies, things like that. But there are some areas of the scan that do some frequency vibrational stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, we do have frequency programs directed at different types of cancers. And can we say it will officially make the difference? We can't make any claims. It all comes down to, let's see. Let's try it and let's see. And if you hang around our group long at all, you're going to hear some outstanding testimonies. Just talking about it, I start to tear up because I've seen some massive transformation in people's lives, but I can't make claims that it will officially cure anything. So
I get that. And I think it has to do too with how compromised is our body? How long have we had a condition? What is going on? Are we insulin resistant? Are we going to change our diet to modify things to help the body improve? There is so many different variables that come into this because we all have different experiences.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions for us? No, we're good.
Oh, I think Beth did, but
Beth, you have to unmute yourself, Beth. Thank you.
So my question is, when you talked about the homeopathy, and I know that there's some in the scans, but you talked about more extensive list, and I don't know where to find that.
Okay, should we cover that here on the call? If you go into, or you know what, should I do it after the call with Beth privately, or should I answer that here? Julie?
And if y'all give it a second, I'll do show and tell while you talk. I'll log in because I love to show this because that's a great question.
Okay, so at the top where we have our name, it will give us a new menu that drops down. It'll say supplements and therapies. And in supplements and therapies, there is a plus sign. There are actually 3 little boxes, and one is a red box that looks like a person, one is a blue box that looks like a notepad, and then one is a green notebook that opens. It is the green notebook that open. If you click on that, that will allow us to look at all the different supplements that are there.
Mhm.
Okay,
And
so
specifically, yeah, in homeopathics, where you can access them directly. Yes, you can add it to your supplement library, but this is in Cephi. This is what I called that library right here. Going back to Cephi, you open it up. Each one of these is a menu of from 30 to 300 plus. Like homeopathics, we have over 300 homeopathy remedies, so you can now make them at home. Very convenient. And you, if you're familiar with those, otherwise you can go to symptoms, and let's say you had like abdominal pain, and then it already matches up the ones that are most needed. You can scan your body to see which homeopathic remedy is optimal for you today. See it, put it in order with that plumbum melitalicum. They are all new to me because I wasn't in homeopathy before this. We have nosodes. If you're like, I don't even know what a nosode is, you can go in here, find out information about it. Look, family history of cancer, diabetes, or stroke. We want to be using that nosode for anybody who is in a healing process with cancer. Cell salts as well. And it's just, I just show this because it's so many resources. Was there something else you want me to show?
So you can run the homeopathy, the first one, you could run them all and then it would choose which ones were appropriate.
The way you do that is like what Jessy was describing, right? So like here it's midday. I'm going to go to general. This is where I added all those homeopathic remedies. And I'm doing a scan right now off my voice. I am Juliana Seglia. We always say our name when we're scanning our voice. And it's checking in with all those homeopathics and then pairing me with, just like you were asking, the ones that I most need today. So then I can imprint it. So that's a little virus detox for you.
Thanks. I'll have to talk to Jessy more about that because I don't know how to load those into my general thing.
I'll help you do that. No problem at all. Sandra has a question here with respect to inner voice scan. Do you have to re-record the client's voice in order to run a new scan? And my answer is as often as you can. I think Lauren, the inventor here, says he scans himself at least 3 times a day because our emotions fluctuate. You can come into work, you have a great day, your voice is something when you wake up, and then your employees drive you nuts or whatever's happening, or the shipment didn't come. I would run a voice scan again because boom, something's just happened to change my equilibrium.
Mm-hmm. And I've even started to implement it with having them say their name, and then I've started to use it as, let's say, an emotional therapy tool. I'll have them talk about that old problem because that's bringing up those old frequencies, and then the custom sound therapy is uniquely catered to what their voice expressed.
Yeah, and it works like intentions too, right? If you, during your inner voice scan, are talking about what problem you want to solve, then that's going to be picked up vibrationally too, and then help to work on that for you. Do we have any other questions?
No, we're good. Okay. Well, if you do, you know how to contact us. Ask away because we learn as you learn. And some of these things we never think of asking ourselves. So it's kind of exciting.
Absolutely. Yeah. And feel free to reach out to us if you want a complimentary scan, or if you have more questions, reach out to Jessy or myself or Juliana, and we'd be happy to help.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for being an innovator and pioneering by just hearing about this.
And it's so much easier talking to people instead of just looking at ourselves on the screen. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your time and your education.
No problem. No problem. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a great afternoon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
How did it feel?